peoples of the internet, and welcome to the Assembly of Nerds podcast. I am your host, Alius, and joining me today we have the perpetually broken Matt here with us, and we have the not-so-screaming Austin because he screamed his vocal cords out at a concert last night, also known as Funny Nickelback Man.
This is what my life has become. Someone help me.
Anchovy miasma. I'm trying to think of something, and I'm just not, like, I just had to think of the puppeteer thing that we're doing.
God, that's gonna be a drug trip.
Okay, so we're starting off with a segment that is yet to be named, but it is, for now I'm calling it ranting time. Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to rant about something. It doesn't necessarily matter what it is. It can be show related. It can be not show related. It can be whatever you feel like ranting about today. So, who wants to go first?
Just letting you guys know I got nothing.
I have nothing. I am generally peaceful.
Generally peaceful. Okay.
And I'm generally spent.
Okay, this is why I gave you guys like a week to think of stuff.
I think it was 2 weeks, really?
Did you think a week would give me anything to happen? I'm a boring son of a gun. I don't do much.
And I'm, I'm not necessarily as boring, but I don't really have much to rant about. I really don't.
I think that I'd have something to rant about, given how my first ever video was a rant, but no. I am the potato salad of people.
Potato salad of people.
The 3-day potato salad or, just normal potato salad?
Normal potato salad. No salt, no pepper, not even a little bit of onions to spice it up. I am just boring.
The potato salad of people. That's how you're being introduced next time. We have the potato salad of people, Matt.
The potato salad of humanity.
Well, given how my first lines in the first ever viewing party was, "Hi, I exist." Yes, that's fitting. I am generic.
Okay, well, I've got a couple of things to rant about, so I can give you guys some time to come up with one thing that just gets under your nerves for some reason. I'm sure you have them, because unless you don't have nerves for stuff to get under, you've got stuff under your nerves.
I removed my nerves so I no longer have to deal with pain every time I watch this godforsaken show.
I have my nerve surgically removed when I was 12. And somehow that made you laugh. Yeah.
I'm a broken shell of a potato salad!
I'm gonna write that one down in our... That was just too much.
Though, would that just make you the potato skins of the potato salad?
I have no idea anymore.
I just said that I wasn't going to scream. Why am I just... time to prolong my vocal rest.
Yes! Rest. Water.
Relax. Water. Shut the hell up every once in a while.
Don't worry, I will talk for a while and give you respect. So the thing I want to complain about is something that's very niche and specific to me. I want to complain about Princess Party companies in San Antonio and how they drive me a little bit bonkers. So I can tell by the look on your face that you're super confused. So I have worked for some Princess Party companies before. Have you guys heard of those before? Any idea?
Looking them up.
I have no idea what you just said.
Princess Party companies. All I got is birthday party, like.
That's what they are. They do mostly parties for little kids, and apparently what's going on in San Antonio is different than kind of what goes on in other areas. Because what happens in San Antonio is you sign on with one company and they want you to stick with that particular company. They don't want you to go to another place. They don't want you to work for another character company if you're with them. The issue with that is this Princess Party companies are gig jobs. They're kind of sporadic, and if you're a performer and you want to like make the most of it, you want to be in like multiple companies, and in other places that's normal. Like it's normal for companies to like share performers, and that and another thing about them is I do not want to say that some of the Princess Party companies down here are racist. But there are weird rules about who can play what and how that works. So like I can only really play or at least in the ones that I've worked with previously, I could only really play the princesses of color. So Moana, Jasmine, Pocahontas, Tiana, where was I? And I typically wouldn't be allowed to do Cinderella or Anna or Elsa or no. I like understand why I would not be Elsa, because like I can sing her part, right? But I don't look anything like her. It would not be convincing. So I'm not allowed to play like the white characters, which is not really that big of a problem until you factor in the fact that some of the white girls are allowed to play the characters that I play, right? Like if they have like a slight tan, then they're allowed to do Jasmine. They're allowed to do Moana. They're allowed to do the characters that I can do. And then you have girls who are like it's called being white passing. Like I'm pretty sure they're Hispanic. I think, and I would see that they would often get booked for the characters that I could do a lot more often than I would. And they didn't look as similar to the character as I did, right? So there's this standard that the white characters have to look like the white characters, but we don't have that same precaution or concern when it comes to the characters of color, which to me is a little irritating, especially because when I'm being passed over for roles that I can play and I'm being excluded from roles that other people are doing, and someone who can play the roles that I can't play is now playing the roles that I can play, even though they don't look as like quote unquote authentic as I do. And I find that annoying. I find that really annoying. Recently, I started working with a company that I really like. They're a lot more flexible. They had me doing more. They put me in like a wider range of characters. Like they put me in as Belle. They put me in as like their unicorn princess, which was fun. They're looking to like have me as Anna which I would love. I actually am like the voice type for Anna. Like that's my actual voice type is a lot more similar to her voice than some of the other characters that I play. That company is a lot more open, while at the same time being fairly culturally sensitive, because there are some times when you don't want, when you really, really, really want the character to really look like, or when you really want the performer to really look like the character. For example, if an African American family asked for Tiana, I would not be the first choice. I'm way too light skinned for that, and that makes sense, and that I'm okay with, right? But there are other princess companies like in this area where they have had girls who are like who are white passing who have played Tiana, and I'm just sitting here like, why would you do that? Also, the Princess Party business, like, in this area is kind of cutthroat, and some people tend to, like, steal ideas. Like, one company that I was with, they asked for ideas for an event, right? They needed an event. They were being hired for an event, and they had, like, a 30-minute slot, and they need to fill it. And I was being like a little opportunistic when I said this. I said you could do hula dancing with Moana. That would be a cool thing to do. That would fill up the time and stuff. And the director of the company was like, yeah, that's a good idea. We've done that before. I'll think about it. And then I said I was available for that event, right? I said I was available like in the beginning. Like when they first announced that event, I was like, yes, I'm available that day after this time. And I found out like a couple days before the event that not only was I not invited to the event, but they used my idea and had somebody else. I don't know what she looked like, because I didn't see her like on the crew app, and I hadn't met her before. So it's possible that she looked more authentic than me, but the last time I had checked, I was like the darkest person on that team, which is a little weird because I am like the definition of light skinned, and it was just a little bit frustrating, and that's kind of what led me to ultimately leave that company and go with the one that I am with now. But yeah, that is my rant on Princess Party companies in San Antonio. I have one more topic that I could totally rant about if you guys are up for listening to that.
Again, I got nothing. I have no idea what to rant about.
I've got nothing.
Okay, so let's talk about the fact that Noragami needs a season 3.
Noragami?
You guys are... Yeah. Noragami, it's an anime. It's like... It's not like it's the best anime in the world, but it's a good anime. It's a solid one, right? And it ended on the worst cliffhanger ever. Well, okay. Not the worst cliffhanger ever. There are worse cliffhangers, but it ended on a really sucky cliffhanger. And it wasn't like a traditional cliffhanger, but it showed us something that you definitely wanted to see more of. Like, you wanted to see where that went. And Studio Bones has not told us whether or not the show is canceled or whether or not it's going to get a 3rd season. And it's been a couple years. now what happened is season 2 came out, and then 2020 happened, and so everything just got put on hold. But now that things are opening back up, it would be nice if Studio Bones could at least tell us what's going on with Noragami. Like, I'm just sitting here like, I might just go buy the manga. Just because I want to know what happened. But at the same time, if it's going to be adapted, I would rather wait for the adaptation than read the manga ahead of time. But, like, I don't know. I might just, like, go and buy the manga anyway. Because Noragami needs a season 3, and if it doesn't get it, the manga is the only thing we have, and thankfully the manga is, like, way past where the anime was, and we can figure out where some of those story threads went. I remember when I was watching the last episode, it got to, like, what felt like the end. Right? And I'm just sitting here like, I wish there was more of this. Like, I feel like there were loose ends and ideas that didn't get properly explored. It was good overall, but I just wish that there was a little bit more. But this is a good ending point. This is a good stopping point. It's not stopping out of nowhere. It's not the worst thing. I can live if this is where Noragami ends. But the credits go by, and then they have an end credit sequence. And that end credit sequence, you know how, like, the end credit sequences in Marvel movies are sometimes complete game changers? Like, they recontextualize the entire movie?
I wouldn't know. I'm not a fan of superhero movies.
I do. Like,
yeah. That's what this end credit sequence did. So, do you guys want the background on why it did that?
Go ahead.
all right.
Go ahead. Okay. I love how you guys are like, I guess we'll just listen to her rant because we didn't come up with anything. Okay.
Oh, I came up with something the minute you said manga, but I'll let you finish.
You'll let me finish? Okay.
Yes.
I'm so glad you have something. So, we have the main character is this girl who's... We have this main character who's a girl, and then we have her counterpart, the guy, who's like a minor god. And they go through the entire story with them, and there's like this implied romance between the two. But there's also this like background character. This background character who like the main girl, she trips and he catches her, and then later on she and her friends are on like a group date at not Tokyo Disneyland, and they're in that place, and in this place, this character that we thought we just saw in the background just suddenly kisses the main character, and we're like, where did that come from? Where is that going? That's very interesting. It took everyone a little bit by surprise, and then we get to the end credits sequence, or after the end credit sequence, and we find out that this guy, who we originally thought was a background character, and then like a romantic rival, not only is he also a god, but he's like the father of the other minor god, and not only that, he's been like manipulating events in the plot throughout this entire time, and you can see that in the end credit, in that end sequence, because you see all of the recurring phantoms that surround him, and you're just like, what? Where is this going? I have to know where this goes. I have to know what happens. But yeah. That's my rant on Princess Companies and Noragami. All right, Matt, you have the floor.
All right. Can I just say, I have a love-hate relationship with libraries. Okay. I enjoy being able to go to a library and be able to pick up a new series because I'm an active reader. I want to become an author later on in life. So that's nice. I get to have a little bit of inspiration, get to have some nice fun. But when it comes to trying to find a series, I have never seen a library that never had this happen. But you go to a library, you find book 1, book 2, book 4. And that is just agonizing, because I like this series. I want to give it a read. I like this book too. I want to give it a read. Sorry, do you have book 3? No, we don't. Oh, is it checked out? No, we just didn't get it. Why? Just... If you're gonna get books 1, 2... Get the entire selection, damn it! Like, even today, I have to just reread series because they don't have books 3. I'm sorry, but you can't pick that series up. Because I'm the type of person who won't just borrow one or two books from the series. I borrow at least 5. Just so that way I can see, okay, the introduction is out of the way, how does the story go from there, and if I like it or not. So when you're trying to understand, say, I'm trying to think of a good example, but I don't really have any, because, like I said, this happens in pretty much every library, but just having to limit your choices of what series you can borrow, because they don't have a certain number in the middle of books 1, 2, and 4. It's just... when can you get it? Never! Pain! But yeah, that's my experiences with the library. It's a love-hate relationship. And that's it. That's all I can think of at the top of my head.
That was good. Did that feel cathartic for you? It sounded like it was cathartic.
Just... yes, I literally came back from the library like 5 minutes before the podcast started, and that's why I was out of breath, like, near the beginning. Like, I didn't want to be late, because one moment that just sticks in my head was an Owl House viewing party where I got a text from Austin. I didn't notice it until, like, halfway through the party, and I was just like, oh, god damn it, I gotta run. But that's a story for another time.
So now that we've gotten through with our rants, we're going to move on to telling an interesting story that happened to us recently. Or that happened to somebody else recently that we find interesting and wanted to share with you guys.
So a while ago, 2 years ago exactly, I ended up reviewing an album called The Click. And, well, for one, I am pretty ashamed of it. Like, I ended up making this promise. If AJR make a #1 hit song, like, by any means, whether somebody else wrote it or they wrote it alone, if they make a #1 hit song, or an buffering tops the Billboard 200s, and not something like the rock charts, because can we even consider these guys rock? If they manage to do one of those two things, or impress me with the next album, and I do not mean Neo Theater, I will go to one of their concerts and enjoy it. Happily. And 2 years later, well, I would end up going there.
I remember that song. It's been forever since I've heard that song.
Wait, what song?
The song that was their #1 hit.
Oh, Bang? Like,
Yeah, so, yeah.
or which one? Like,
Yeah, Bang.
oh yeah. And, spoiler alert, I did end up enjoying it.
Like, I was singing along to a lot of the songs. They actually did have one part where they just decided to point out people in the audience, and it kind of led to a bit of a fashion thing where they ended up having, where they ended up putting on, where one of the members, Ryan, would end up putting on a few wardrobes. One of them is a graduation outfit, and another is, well, a hat that probably looks like it was a cow pattern. Yeah, I do have video evidence of me singing along to some of the songs. It's really all I could say about it, but yeah, I made a promise, went to the concert, enjoyed it. Dignity revoked! As if I had any.
Alright, Matt, do you have your interesting story?
Honestly, yeah. Well, kind of interesting, kind of rage-inducing, but in the people who saw the first podcast, remember I mentioned how my first major review was my chameleon review on Amino. But that has a history, and I'll tell you. So, I wanted to make a big thing with Chameleon because, hey, Season 3 beginning, I liked Lila as a character at the time, still do somewhat, and it was a 2-part review. One part was with Lila, the other part was the actual episode review. Lila's part, that was all set, that was fine. I was able to post it on Amino via using my at the time working laptop. But then came the Chameleon review itself. I spent 3 hours non-stop, no going to the bathroom, no eating, nothing. Writing jokes, double-checking things by rewatching the episode multiple times. How I kept my sanity, I have no idea, but it was done. It was nice, it was done, it was fine. I go to post it. By the time it's finished uploading, gone. Like, it didn't post. I checked for drafts, no drafts. So, it just was gone. So that meant I had to do all of that again. Rewrite the jokes, rewrite the actual review itself. And I wanted to make sure that I got chapters 1 and part 1 and part 2 just done as soon as possible, so that way it can just not have that big of a delay, because I was notorious for being a bit delayed when it came to writing my reviews. And this is my first actual big project. So the look on my face when it was just gone, it can pretty much be summarized as just pure, unadulterated anger and frustration and disappointment. But yeah, I did manage to get it done, and I just changed the intro, where I was pretty much saying, you know, this is the beginning of Season 3, aka the beginning of pain and suffering. But after having to rewrite it, I said, you know what, I'm usually gonna have the intro be me saying this is the start of pain. But instead I'm just gonna say, screw rewriting this episode, just dear God! So yeah, that was my story. I haven't really... And that was the one time, aside from the frickin' Bubbler review, where I had technical difficulties with a Miraculous episode.
Be prepared to have more.
Okay, so it is now my turn again. Thank you for your wonderful, interesting stories.
Isn't that interesting?
So, a couple of weeks ago, I did my first ever commercial shoot. I was in extra. It was a commercial for eggs. And already the commercial itself, it was weird, but like by design. It was supposed to be kind of weird and funny. The setup was we were at this like gender reveal party for like an expecting mother, right? And so when they're supposed to open the box that says whether it's a girl or a boy, it turned out to be eggs. And we were supposed to act super happy and excited when we saw the eggs.
Like, it was just
supposed to be it was just supposed to be the most exciting thing that we had seen all day. And so we did that. We did the shoot. I discovered that on a film set there's a lot of hurrying up and waiting. So there was a lot of standing around, lots of talking to the other actors, and it was fun. It was nice. But that's not the interesting part. So there were 3 principal roles in this commercial. Or, well, principal isn't technically the correct term. I don't know what you would really call leading in a commercial.
Ellie!
Ellie!
Hi!
Ellie!
Hi!
Honey!
You're just in time. We're learning about eggs.
Honey! Whoa, what is up with the camera?
It's off.
Alright, you're slowly
Okay.
getting color of
Okay.
hell.
Ladies and gentlemen, my beautiful as hell girlfriend.
Hello, Internet Mom.
Hi. Did you miss me?
Yes, we did. We missed you so much.
I was worried about you, honey.
Yeah, I see I have some missed texts from you.
I assured him that you would check in later, so.
You were right.
Thank you, internet aunt.
I'm the broken child.
Aunt on which side?
Aren't I on your side? I think, since we share a brain cell.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take over Austin.
I'm always up for getting another sister.
I wonder what you have to do to make that microphone peak.
I don't want to find out.
Okay. Well, peak just means when peak is just the point where you're louder than the microphone can get like an intelligible sound, and it makes the weird screeching noise.
Like it's
Right,
clipping.
I do know what you mean, but I feel like for a quiet child like me, it would take one of you people to break me to a point where I have break me past the point of no return.
Oh.
Not you, Ellie. You don't try to break me, but you just find ways.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's not your fault that your husband breaks me on a daily basis.
Reflect all exist.
I will throw this donut at your face.
How can you? I'm all the way in Georgia.
Okay.
Speaking of which, man,
I
that
will
looks tasty.
find a way.
Speaking of which, that looks tasty.
We'll just get like a giant projectoid missile and just attach the donut to it.
I want to shoot a missile at him.
What is wrong with you?
I mean, depends on how many donuts. How many donuts would it take to make it so that way it doesn't explode on impact?
And
Just
furthermore,
tell the missile to not explode. We can have the missile like pass over and drop the donut, and then the missile can go into the ocean if we want the
That's just
missile to do that.
fun.
well,
That was fun.
well, it would probably be a bit expensive and wasteful and possibly dangerous. And if you're going to make the missile out of donuts, which I'm not sure if you said, would it work?
Next time on Food Theory.
It would. We would find a way to make the missile of donuts work, Austin. We would find a way.
Pick your flavor. I choose maple frosted.
Okay. Okay. So.
Should we send that in as a question to Food Theory?
No.
Could you make a missile out of donuts? We didn't do that.
Do
We
not
could totally
Or at
do
the
that.
very
weapons out of donuts.
Or at the
Food
very
weapons.
least.
What is the...
I'm just gonna save this for like when I get to reviewing Kung Food.
Or
One of the potential weapons, missile donut.
Or at the very least, I gotta incorporate that as a little end joke for my channel. Like, at some point.
Okay.
What episode?
Who knows?
So back to our regularly scheduled programming. Ali has joined us. Thank you so much. I was talking to them about the first ever commercial shoot that I was on, which was a couple of weeks ago. It was on my birthday. It was a nice way to spend my birthday. It was fun.
Nice.
It was a commercial about eggs, and the setup for it was we were at this gender reveal party, and when it came time to open the box to where you see if it's a girl or a boy, instead of it being blue or pink, it was just eggs. And when we saw the eggs, we were supposed to be super hyped and excited. And that was a lot of fun, but that's not the interesting part. So there were 3 leads for this commercial. We had the expecting mom, the dad, and then there was a delivery guy. The delivery guy was kind of like the straight man, and he pointed out at the end of the commercial, like, aren't those just eggs? Like, that was his line. He had one line that he repeated 3 times, and he had to repeat it in like a different way each time so that it made sense. And the director was being a little bit particular about how this line was delivered. They were trying to find like the right balance of everything, right? And so the delivery guy, he seems like this super chill dude. He's going for it. He's doing what he's being told. And they're just kind of going over looking for that perfect take so that they can wrap everything up and send us all home. But anyway, towards the end of the shoot, our delivery guy just leaves. He leaves without explanation. It's not he wasn't like, oh my gosh, my wife is having a baby, I have to go, or there was no indication that he was just gonna up and leave. He left with the costume. He was still wearing the costume, and he left with some of their audio equipment. The last I heard as I was leaving the set was that the guy was coming back to give back the costume and the audio equipment. And they were gonna try and finish up the commercial because they only needed like one more shot to really make it work. And from what I've been told, that never happens. Like, an actor doesn't just leave the set. That's like the worst thing you can do if you're an actor. And this guy was like from an agency, so he made his entire agency look bad. I feel bad for like the other actors in his agency because he just made it to where a production company is not going to work with that agency like ever again. And that is the story of my first commercial shoot. Ellie, do you have a mildly interesting story for us? Or a very interesting?
Mildly interesting. Like, I started thinking about something similar that happened to me one time. I was not in a commercial, but I am an actress, and every summer I play in a summer theater that is held outside, and it's like a pretty big thing. Like, a whole lot of towns are involved, like actors from different towns like just come together and make a play, and it takes about 3 months to make it, and then a whole month just playing it. And we're starting to prepare for this year right now. And there was this, I think it was the second year I was part of this. I've been in it since 2016, 16, I think. So since I was 13 years old. So this happened when I was 14, and I think I don't remember if this was the premiere or not, but it was like right before a show. I didn't have like a big role or anything, but still I needed to be on stage a few times. And right before the play was about to begin, I fall to the ground in agonizing pain. I don't know what happened. I felt so sick and I was in so much pain that I couldn't stand. And so I just laid on the ground. and like one of the other actresses that were just stood beside me when I just fell to the ground just asked like, "Hey Elle, are you okay? Like what's going on?" And I just told her, "Go get my mom now." And so she ran to get my mom. Like the play was already going on at this point. So it had already started, so we had to be extremely quiet backstage. Like I couldn't make a sound even though I was in so much pain. And like my mom came and asked me what was going on, and I just said, I can't stand, I'm in too much pain. And so she went to tell the one in charge of the theater what had happened, and they just told me that they asked me what I wanted to do, because if I can't stand, then I shouldn't be expected to go on stage, but I needed to be on stage because the scenes I was in, it was pretty crucial that I was in those scenes. So I went by the moral, the show must go on, and I went through that entire 2-hour-long theater in extreme pain.
Holy crap!
Jeez.
Okay.
And I don't think the audience noticed. I think I did a pretty good job hiding it.
Can we just give a round of applause?
Honey. I wish I
How
was
are
over
you
there so I could hug you.
Why?
It was miserable.
I wish I
It was
could.
miserable at the time.
I wish I was over there so I could give you a hug.
We didn't
Wish
know
that
each
every
other
day.
at that point, love.
Like, still, like, you deserve one for all of that. Like, jeez.
Maybe, wait, I was 14 around that time. That must have been around the time you were pretty new with your channel.
2016? Like, what month was
Yeah,
it?
2016.
Like, what month was it?
No, this play happened during 2017 because it was the second year I was in.
Oh, yeah, I think I was, I think it was around the, I think,
I believe this happened in July of 2017.
oh, I think I was still on my Mr. Pigeon review.
Yeah, and ever since that day I've went by the moral, the show must go on.
I would just die.
Show must go on.
Honey.
Okay, so now we get to move on to the questions that we have for today. So question 1, what do you think would happen if somebody swallowed an Akuma?
Probably the stomach acid would just destroy it, I guess.
Or you would have butterflies in your stomach.
I have that all the time anyway, so...
I feel like either that or they might multiply so badly that you would just be, like, butterflies would
Vomiting
just,
up butterflies.
like, it would just be like what happened to Stoneheart, just a bunch of Akumas just coming out of his mouth, and yeah, it would be like a horror story.
Just explode with butterflies?
Like, no, like, it would just,
No, like butterflies would like start crawling out of the mouth and ears.
or it would just be a
Ew.
fountain of Akumas, just all forming all forming into a hawk moth's head, asking, "What have you done?"
Okay, I regret asking that question.
I was the one that first came up with it. Why did you decide to put it in?
Because I thought it would be interesting. It was interesting, but I still regret it.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the next question is, how would you improve the show's writing?
Punch Ladybug every once in a while.
No!
Okay, but in all
Give her more of a
seriousness,
spotlight once in a while.
in all seriousness, I've suggested this before. Have more focus on characters other than Marinette. Yes, she is the protagonist of the show. But we also have a side protagonist in Adrian. And while yes, he does have his episodes like Karoneko and... Would you say Cap Blanc? I would.
Cat Blanc is not his episode.
Well,
Or maybe even Copycat.
Copycat, maybe.
or Psychomedian.
Cat's more his episode.
Does
Yes,
Psychomedian count?
Maybe.
I don't think so. Psychomedian
Psychomedian, no.
gives more focus on Cat Noir, but there's not like, it's not like an
In the
arc that
beginning, it
Adrian
gets
goes
focus on Marinette.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have other characters who have more interesting life experiences because we know them less. We've seen pretty much everything about Marinette, so show us something about other characters. Maybe while Ladybug and Kano are doing stuff, maybe show what, I don't know, Ivan and Milen are doing. Mark and Nathaniel, Julika and Rose. Just, you have this wide range of characters, each with their own life. How about you use them? And not in a clip show format, because we already have one too many of those, but...
There was only one of them, man. Yeah, that was too
exactly. But just expand on the characters. That's the one thing... That's something that I always enjoy when an episode does, except for Reflect All. When they give us more to chew on when it comes to a certain character. Like Silencer. Yes, it has Luca finally confessing his love, but it also shows that he's not just a music hippie, he can have actual anger. He has a... Yes, the cardboard cutout of a character has more character. And I feel like that could have been done with Zoe as well. Like, give us more to chew on, give us more depth. I'm not saying write a 20,000 page essay on a character and make that into just one episode. Just flesh out the characters, expand on them, make us enjoy them, make us tolerate some more than others. And yes, because reception for episodes like Kuroneko and Haxon, those were good because for once Marinette was more of a side character. So, yeah.
Unfortunately, Thomas still thinks that Marinette is the only reason we watched Miraculous.
Don't mind me, I'm just gonna grab my mallet.
You have a mallet?
I do, for punching myself in the face.
What's a mallet?
It's like a giant
it's
hammer.
like a hammer.
Yeah.
Oh,
You've never heard of a mallet. Like,
I don't do the English. I don't do the English well.
I mean, I personally would agree with Matt, but another way to improve the show, give characters better treatment. Like, give the characters that you focus on, like, that you're already focusing on, better treatment. And yes, I'm looking at Chloe. I felt like I've gone on the rant before. Is it even worth
times. No.
Just... And, another thing, curb your freaking ego, guys. Like, I'm talking to the writers, or at the very least, the people behind the show. Because it is starting to bleed through Miraculous, and it is getting obnoxious. Chris Master, Stormy Weather 2, Simple Man, all of them just have this feeling of bitter, like it not only has a feeling that the episode or the show writers are better than us, but it also has a feeling that these guys are bitter towards us. Especially freaking Simple Man. But I feel like I've gone on long enough about that one. Just, again, give characters better treatment and curb the freaking egos.
I would say follow through with your ideas. When you introduce a concept, actually follow through with it. Because they introduced the idea of Rena Verdant, but then they didn't use her. They introduced the idea of Suhan, but then he never did anything. They had Marinette be the Guardian, and then the only thing they really did was say, hey, that was a bad idea.
Well, I saw it from a mile away. I knew it was a bad idea from the very moment that Battle of the Miraculous happened. That just reinforced it.
It just seems like they keep introducing things and then not doing anything with them. Like this whole thing with the love square. The love square should have flipped by now. We should have seen the shift by now. We're at season 5 of 7. Like there should have been a shift or a flip or something in that dynamic. It looked like there was some destabilizing factors, but that lasted for like 3 episodes. And then it was like totally dropped. Like they made it almost like it never happened. It just bothers me that they keep introducing things and then not following through on them. Like, I want to see where this goes, and you're just like, nope, we're going to go this way. But you said you were going to go that way. Nope, we're going to go this way. And no, just go the direction that you're implying that you're going to go, and, like, stick to it. Find a plan, stick to the plan. Don't run off everywhere. Matt, what was your input?
I agree, and for me, one of the biggest examples of that, the magical charms. Because, yes, they finally have a way to stop people from getting akumatized. Well, me being a villain fan and liking the creativity of most of the villains, thinks it sucks, they could use it. Then in the same season, they take him away, and the problem I have with that is that it feels like the only reason they did that is so that way they can akumatize Chloe back into Penalty in the same exact season.
Like, yeah, again, they said that hopefully the magical charm could turn Chloe into a better person, but one, you really expect us to believe it after, well, everything that you have said about Chloe from the fallout of Battle of the Miraculous. And 2, cue the next episode, she's still not any better. She's wanting Adrian locked up. And 3, what was the point of that? What was the point of the charm if you were going to, have it be broken? Again, I feel like this could have been expanded, maybe another season.
Ellie, do you have any thoughts on how to improve the show's writing?
Nope, I think you guys had most of the points I've been thinking of.
Okay. So the next question is, which akumatized villain is your favorite and why? Ellie?
Evil Illustrator. Hands down.
The romantic simping tomato.
Yeah,
Really?
because I'm an artist and I see a lot of myself in him.
Not to mention it was the episode that ended up introducing you to me.
Yeah, it's always been my favorite episode. I'm a sucker for romance.
Welcome to my world.
Austin, you want to go next?
I feel like it's practically obvious at this point. If anybody is familiar with my channel, it's Volpina. Like, hands down, it's gotta be Volpina. If only because, like, I have a bit of a personal attachment to her. Like, again, as I was developing the Huntsman, I just wanted to make a villain that could be blamed on Ladybug and Cat Noir. And then Volpina comes out, and I find out that she was akumatized mostly due to Ladybug calling her out for lying. And at that point, I just felt like, like, and she doesn't even forgive Ladybug for it. Like, yeesh, just, okay, this is definitely good. Like, I can relate to this. I might ship her with my OC. And then the Momocon incident happens, and while I still hold some regret for it, yeah, that one kind of made me like Lila even more. Like, again, not to mention, like, she was one of the first villains to make Ladybug nearly give up the miraculous. I hate what they would end up doing with her in Chameleon, but you know what? At least Ona-chan exists. You're welcome, Matt.
What do you mean? I'm the one that told you that you're gonna enjoy Oni-chan and even suggested that we watch it. But anyways, guess it's my turn, unless you want to go. It's a tie between two villains. Riposte and Psychomedian. So, Riposte, besides being Best Girl Kagami, I just love the design. The action scenes in the episode that, I know the episode itself isn't really why I love the villain, but the action that, and the sheer amount of passion, emotion that Faye Mata gives, and Faye Mata being my favorite voice actress of all time, it just makes me enjoy the villain even more.
Like,
go ahead, Austin.
She did say that she kind of wore out her voice from doing Riposte, and honestly, I'd say it was worth it.
Yes! And then there's Psychomedian. I love this villain's design because I've always been a fan of evil clowns and jesters. In video games, in novels, and Psychomedian is everything that I love in a villain like that. He's got cool powers. Like I said, his design is amazing. But what I love the most is how the show doesn't treat him as a joke. They treat him as an actual threat. And the voice actor makes us see that he's an actual threat. Like, all the emotions, his desire to prove, yes, I can create as many emotions as I want, not just laughter. And it's amazing. I'm not really sure how else to really say it. It's not a personal connection. It's just he's a cool villain connected to one of my favorite episodes of Miraculous.
Just looking it up now, he's voiced by Max Middleman. So, yeah, it's the cheese-loving rat voicing the clown.
Between Fencing Girl and Ha Ha the Clown, I can't pick.
Okay, so my favorite villain is Chat Blanc. Because of the performance that his voice actor gives, it's like this is like the only episode where I'm like, okay, I actually prefer the auditory experience of the English dub over the French dub, because usually I prefer listening to the French dub. I don't know the name of the guy who does Adrian in French, but I like what he does a bit more.
Looking it up.
This is the first, or probably the only one where I'm like, okay, hands down, the English dub is the way to go if you speak English.
Benjamin Bolin.
I think that's how you say it. But Yeah, I love the performance, and I also love like the concept of what happens when Cat Noir gets akumatized. Well, the entire world explodes. The logical extreme that they take it to with that, and you also feel all of the emotions because you can tell that he's gone a little crazy, and I like how like creepy he sounds, and then how intense he sounds, and then just how off-putting it is to kind of watch. Yeah, that's my favorite villain.
Well, it seems like... Go ahead, Matt.
Alright. I respect your opinion. I can definitely enjoy Bryce Papenbrook's performance in Cat Blanc. In fact, I was originally going to dedicate my review of it to him. But the rest of the episode itself, I can't like it. It's one of the very few episodes that I've actually given the rage filter to.
Yeah, like, again, Zeno warned me about it. I, like, eventually 2 wires in my brain connected, and, yeah, it was one of the few, like, it was one of the reasons why I gave it, like, just around the time I was just considering what episodes to give the Red Flames, and it would usually be 0 out of 5s. Chaplon was the one episode to make me reconsider. Because I would say it gets a 0.5, and yet I'm still willing to give it the Red Flame.
If I were to rate Chat Blanc out of my scale of F this episode and 10, it's a 4 out of 10, because Bryce Papenbrook sells the episode. It's everything else that I have a problem with, because it's just... It exists to kick us fans in the crotch while showing us everything, taunting us. And it doesn't get better when in Season 4 we get the exact same concept except worse.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I feel like Ephemeral had better pacing than Chat Blanc, but, like, the last 5 minutes were just, like, crazy. I didn't like Ephemeral as a villain. I didn't like him getting akumatized. I was not entertained by the last 5 minutes. It just brought up more questions than answers. But anyway, it's time to move on to the next question, which is, what is the most bonkers thing you think happened in the show?
Please explain the word to me.
Oh, bonkers.
Insane, crazy, out, just, what the hell is going on? That is pretty much what bonkers means.
What's the craziest thing that happened in the show?
I've become word boy.
Yes.
If I could say bonkers in this case, the entirety of Kwame Buster. Well, mainly just the ending of Kwame Buster. And I don't mean it in a good way. Just having Mouse Fox, Fox Mouse, Fox Plague, I don't care anymore. Just use an illusion to make sure that Cat Noir doesn't realize that Marinette is Ladybug. It's what the hell?
I am still angry at how much Ladybug had to, pardon my French, bull her way through to convince Cat Noir that she and Marinette are not the same. All the while, Cat Noir is here just calling Francois Dupont an elementary school when he's been there. Like, and he should know it's a high school.
We have illusions, capturing the Akuma, not actually catching the Akuma, waiting till Cat Noir leaves because screw this episode to high hell, and then it's an illusion, illusion revealed.
Brain cells destroyed.
Hope for the show broken. And yes. And technically there are some... You would say that there are more bonkers moments, like Mr. Pigeon's entire existence, or maybe even Chris Master or Party Crasher, that entire episode's a what the hell moment. I feel like Kwame Buster is more bonkers because it exists only to make it so that way Cat Noir and Ladybug can never know their identities. And it's not a fun kind of bonkers, it's just a painful bonkers.
I'd say that my most bonkers moment, Mr. Banana.
You're a banana!
That's my line. Just Mr. Banana's existence. What is he? Why is he? And especially him turning into a cucumber and Wishmaker.
The cucumber who wears a banana costume, he tells me to stay teaching.
The setup for a really horrible sex joke.
Austin, no.
I mean, come on.
No.
A cucumber, a banana, a peach.
I have a staple. I'm not afraid to chuck it into Georgia.
Austin, your wife is hanging her head in shame.
I can see that. Forgive me, Ellie. I mean, you're the one who had that dirty cucumber joke.
What dirty cucumber joke?
It was just a regular cucumber joke.
Yeah!
It wasn't
Come on,
dirty.
Austin.
What's long, hard, and full of cum?
That's not how it went.
What's long and hard and has cum in the middle?
Middle.
I don't know where you're getting is filled with cum, Austin.
Ah!
You're the one putting words in my mouth.
Come on, father, tell us. Please enlighten your small, innocent little boy.
We hope you enjoy this little edition of ASLB is Completely Broken.
Welcome to my life! Ever since that first freaking viewing party, I have dealt with being broken constantly.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's rarely ever you, Ellie. It's more so the funny Nickelback man that you call a boyfriend, the gift that keeps on giving me reasons to break, and the Riddler. Because I have no other thing to call him because he hasn't appeared ever since that day.
Welcome to
I
depression.
apologize because no one else apologizes, so I take all the shame.
Honey, I
Just-
is all the shame.
And I take all the shame.
And I have to deal with your shame.
And Alias is enjoying the shame.
Yes. Very much so.
We are a family of shame!
Here, we're one big happy family with. Dang it! I don't even have a good song for it.
We can go play in Family Feud as the Shames.
We are ham and cheese.
Was that an Ice Age 4 reference?
Yes.
I must have not have seen Ice Age 4.
Forgive me for not having class.
Okay.
Like,
Well,
I love Ice Age 4.
Moving on.
yeah, okay. So, the most bonkers moment for me, it was one of two things. I'm stuck between two things. It was either Gorzilla or Gigantitan. Gigantitan is kind of winning out, but Gorzilla is still giving it a run for its money. That was just the craziest thing. It's just a giant baby. Why are we having a giant baby here? Who ordered a giant baby? I don't understand. It's like Heart Eater. Drugs must have been involved for there to be a giant baby.
again, I made the joke. It's almost like the writers had an episode in mind where Gorilla gets akumatized, but then they saw the baby they were sitting and thought, I'll save it for later. Giant baby it is.
Also, I think the only way you make it more bonkers is you make the giant baby fight Gorzilla. Now that would be bonkers.
Babyzilla versus Gorizilla. Begin!
I'd pay money to see it twice. I'd pay it all the money. I'd give it my entire bank account.
Wait, you give your entire bank account to watch a giant monkey punch a child? I mean, I'm not blaming you.
Wait a minute, aren't gorillas apes?
Titan. What?
Aren't gorillas apes?
Same diff.
Yeah.
Funny is you'd watch a monkey punch someone in the face.
I'd pay it I pay it with my entire house. I pay it with my Okay, maybe not with my clothes. That is crossing the line a bit.
You're telling me I don't want to see that.
Okay, so Ellie, what is the craziest moment for you in the show? What's the most bonkers moment for you?
I don't really have a moment that directly comes to mind. It's more just like a thing in the show that I don't understand. And that would be the Bunny Miraculous. I don't fully understand it because I get it. It's time travel, but I'm no expert on how time travel works. So like Alex gets the watch from her father. It's been passed down from generations to generations. And that watch is the Miraculous. But that watch, at the same time, the exact same watch, exists in the Miraculous box, probably, at that time. And that watch is also the watch of Bunnix, who appears, later in a later season. So the exact same thing and the exact same Kwame exists multiple times at the same time, and I just don't fully understand how it works. How is the universe not destroying itself?
Not to mention apparently the Bunny Miraculous breaks in Time Breaker multiple times. Even though
Miraculouses aren't supposed to break.
Well, at the very least, not from dropping at a height, from holding height, so...
Miraculous is not supposed to break. They established that in Queen Wasp.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Canor needed to use his Cataclysm on the Bee Miraculous because Miraculous don't break.
I guess this is
But
just...
the watch breaks in Time Breaker.
I'm guessing this is just the cost of, first season syndrome.
To quote my review of Time Breaker, why do I feel like things are gonna get a lot more complicated later on?
Continuity.
I don't understand time travel. I find it confusing.
Freaking time shenanigans.
I could try and explain it to you, but I'd probably leave you more confused.
Just thank God there are no flying chainsaws in Miraculous. Otherwise, I feel like we'd be I feel like the show would implode on itself.
Flying chainsaws are for us, Austin.
Yeah, I know.
I've yet to experience a flying chainsaw. At most, I just wake up in the void.
I'd rather not experience a flying chainsaw. Chainsaws hurt.
That's the understatement of the century.
No, I haven't touched a chainsaw while it's moving. Though I have almost hit myself in the leg with an axe, and that hurt.
Nope.
A real axe or
A real axe. A real axe.
How are you still standing?
I is a cat. I have 9 lives.
I thought you said you weren't my kitty.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to Matt's question. Just for the sake of time.
Before it gets all lovey-dovey over here.
Please let it get lovey-dovey. That's where our most adorable moments are.
We'll save it for a compilation.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to think of the interest of time. Trust me, it can get lovey-dovey at the last question, I think. I think the last question opens the door for lovey-doveyness.
May I say it?
Your question?
What is a show that we would like to have a viewing party for, aside from Miraculous?
I really need to get down to writing that list.
I'll help write it.
I'm kind of stoked for Randy Cunningham, 9th Grade Ninja.
The main reason why I thought this was a good question is because if one of the Patreon things that Austin has, who we should totally check out on Patreon, we should probably have a link to that.
Cross promotion.
Yes, but I feel like we should have more variety than just Miraculous. I am depressed. Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. Yes, Austin. Your son is right.
About Doctor Who. Can someone fill me in what that's about? Because I have no idea.
Timey-wimey shenanigans.
Yes,
that's
more all
time.
it's about.
Timey-wimey
time.
Well, this It's not just different time periods. It's also different dimensions.
Okay, that I can get behind.
It's funny, it's charming, it's heartwarming, it's sad, it's completely horrifying. Mom, get the phone.
Where do we start?
I might have the start of the reboot. And worst case scenario is that I go to the library, because I have the David Tennant Doctor and the Matt Smith Doctor, aka Best Doctor, aka Don't At Me.
Why would I at you? Look at what I'm holding.
You have not seen it. You do not dare wield that against me, hunty boy.
Yeah, do you want to explain what you're holding for everyone listening that can't see it?
Oh, it's a sonic screwdriver.
He hasn't seen the show, yet he has that thing.
I just thought it was cool. But, and because I want to torture Matt some more, fully coolly.
I'm going to kick you in the throat when we meet up.
He's only seen the first episode, and and let me tell you, it gets more bonkers.
You recorded the thing, right? You have my reaction.
Yep.
Do you mind, do you think you can show the people of the world my reaction?
Not right now.
God damn it, alright. More of a reason for you people to check out Austin's Patreon. To see me break down. But yeah. Doctor Who.
Right. Doctor Who, fully coolly,
Have any of you guys ever seen an episode of Monk?
Yes! I was just watching Monk the other day.
Monk?
It's pretty much this detective with OCD. It's another British show. Very good, very well done.
It's not British.
Okay, I'm wrong. I'm thinking of Sherlock Holmes, but I did also see Monk.
I was gonna mention Sherlock Holmes, but then I thought of Monk, and I'm like, I think Monk is better.
I feel like both of them are really well done.
Yeah, they're both really well done, but there's something
Which
about
Sherlock
Monk
Holmes are you
that's a
thinking
little...
of?
The
Sherlock-
Benedict Cumberbatch one.
Oh, I love that.
Oh.
Yes, I liked it until the third season, where they introduced his... I'm not gonna spoil it, not gonna spoil it, not gonna spoil it, not gonna spoil it.
Watson? Or...
Watson gets introduced in the third
episode.
season. The third season did introduce something kind of whack.
Yes, I'm not gonna go
Watson
into
is in
it.
it from the beginning.
Yes, and
Okay,
he is
okay.
amazing.
We never had a dog. That was just like no.
Just, again, take my advice. Never watch Holmes and Watson. Never watch Holmes and Watson. The
Never
movie.
watch Holmes and Watson.
Like, the movie with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. I sat through it for free, and I felt like I wasted money.
Probably gonna regret this, given the last time I took your advice on not to watch something, but I'm just gonna watch it just to spite you.
Don't. Please don't. You're not going to do anything other than hurt yourself, son.
Oh, so now you look after me!
Seriously, hurting you is my job.
Ellie, do you have any shows that you can think of that should be on our radar?
I have two things that I would like to watch with everyone, but I don't know if they are that good suggestions. The first one is an anime that I really love called AON High School Host Club.
We share a brain cell. We really do.
Again.
We didn't even...
I love that anime. I'd like to watch it with someone someday.
Or on High School
The
Host
second
Club.
one, AON High School Host Club.
All
The
right.
boys would hate it.
What do you
guys
But I
hate
love
Why?
it. So
Why?
I love it.
Why would we hate it?
Because
I love the
it's a
humor.
little obnoxious.
So am
I
I.
love
What's your
the
point?
I love the humor.
But what else?
And the second, it's not really a series. It's more like the how do I explain this? There is a lot of movies of this, like, and it would be Asterix.
Oh,
I love Asterix.
Heard of it?
I've heard of it. I've never actually seen it.
Like, yeah, this was the episode that Bakerix was based off of, and yeah,
It's not an episode. It started as a comic, and then it got like movies, like 2D movies, and now it also now has live action movies, but they are not as good. I prefer the 2D movies.
yeah,
Guys,
yeah.
we should watch One Punch Man.
Oh! Zeno showed me the first episode. Like,
Wait, have you not
think
seen
I
One
was
Punch
there
Man
for
until
that.
Zeno showed you it?
no, like, I've only ever heard of it through certain clips, and my brother is a huge fan of it.
Alright, Austin,
Like-
I'm disowning you as dad.
Like, no, like, my brother even got to meet Max Middleman, and even got a signed poster of it.
Guys, we can actually watch shows that make us happy.
We
Right?
can?
Like you. Like, this is a revelation.
I'm sorry, I'm just used to being tormented by these people.
Yeah,
By Austin.
so One Punch Man. We could probably have Zeno join, like, for that one.
Zeno,
Yes.
yeah.
Zeno is the anime nut.
I did ask Austin like a few days ago if he wanted to watch an Asterix movie with me, but we haven't come around to do that yet.
Austin.
I wrote down asterisks. You're lucky this is being recorded from OBS. I'm adding Disney movies because there are so many Renaissance movies that I have yet to see. I've seen Beauty and the Beast. I've seen The Jungle Book. Well, that's not a Renaissance
you seen
movie.
Mulan?
You need to watch The Hunchback of Notre Dame with me.
Yes, you do, Austin.
Okay,
your
and
part.
Mulan.
As long as it's not the reboot.
I have yet to see the
Please.
reboot. I need to see that for myself. I've been abstaining from the reboot, if only because of the controversy.
You should have abstained.
You should have abstained.
That was creepy.
That was an interesting smog voice.
You should have abstained.
And the rewriter has come back to the scene. He has returned to the scene of the crime.
Yeah, the crime was being with Hit Austin.
No, the crime was being that you made Chibi Huntsman super jelly.
You're the one that made that a reality.
And
You just agreed with it.
For half
How
a
could I
second,
not?
I genuinely thought you were gonna say something along the lines of the crime was hanging out with Hitler. That's what it sounded
Oh
like.
my! I did hear the hit part, like, just, you sounded like you were about to say something like him or something, but
Yeah, him. Him makes more sense.
I'm not gonna be hanging out with Hitler anytime soon.
good, I'm part Jewish.
What is everyone's religion?
What is everyone's? Oh, I'm not wearing my cross today. It broke.
Oh.
I always wore that cross necklace with me, and now it's like broken, and I don't know how to fix it. I'm probably gonna get a new one and wear that one all the time.
I'm taking that means you're a Christian.
Yes.
I is not particularly religious.
Here am I.
I never would have guessed. I had no idea.
I might need God because of Austin, but I'm not getting it anytime soon. I'm damned to hell.
Hey, whenever you're in a viewing party around me, you need Jesus.
That's it. I'm launching my stapler to Georgia.
Bazooka gun.
But don't have bazooka gun to now fire staples. We're just expanding on this mass weapon to send to Georgia.
Oh my lord.
I need
Okay.
to buy Austin a flight to France.
France?
Yeah, like that is like a second plan. If I'm not allowed to go to Georgia because I'm still not allowed to go, then the plan was that we would both go to Paris and meet up there.
Aw, that would be the most adorable thing.
Oh, the fancy noises.
Oh, I don't know French.
I know one French word and I'm not gonna say it.
Like, I have my own thing at the end of my reviews, And the Akuma has the Akuma, Rossetti Spaghetti. Just because.
Rossetti Spaghetti!
Isn't that Italian?
Wait.
Rossetti
It's more
Spaghetti.
Italian.
Like, it's French-Italian. Like,
Wait, I gotta look this up
French
before I make a
people are more
mistake.
into the baguettes.
either that or you're just reminding us of Animal Crossing, which is, if you're reminding us of Rossetti, yeah, I am done with life.
I don't mean. Okay, yes, it is a French origin, so Rossetti Spaghetti works.
Okay, so let's move on to our last question. What do you want to do with your life?
Exist. Just,
Uh,
I'd rather not die. That's my goal in life.
I have some plans.
Marrying Austin is one of them.
Yeah, I have actually already dreamed about the wedding, so
You have.
Da 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 da.
that song is not gonna play.
Oh.
Like, maybe.
I think Austin and I once talked about like wedding just for fun, like our wedding just because we could, and I think like we agreed that when I walk down the aisle, we're gonna have a piano version of Dark Side playing.
Yeah, just. That's the theme of Shadow.
To the dark side. I don't have a theme. I'm just chaotic noises.
You ever thought of Phantom by Nate Wants to Battle? I mostly thought of that for the theme of Persona 5 OC Snitch, which I don't have a drawing of, but...
Alright, I gotta make a list of everyone's themes. We have...
Well, I don't think Alias has a theme, like... For Shadow or Ellie, it's Dark Side. For me, it's How You Remind Me. Hey, I'm the funny Nickelback guy. Of course it's gotta be that.
And now you've got that damn song stuck in my head. To the point I sang it in voice training.
You're welcome.
The fun is just beginning, hunty boy. Never made it as a wise man.
Could I give you guys some alone time?
Yes, mother.
Honey, why not have us have some alone time? Just
Because then he starts getting kinky.
No,
Son.
Austin is not into that.
son, please, no.
Austin is not into kinky things.
Really, you could have...
You fooled us!
Honey,
Huh?
you don't know me.
Well, from your reactions to me telling my very innocent jokes, I'm guessing you're not into that kind of things.
No, I think it's more like he's curious to see where it goes.
Either that or I is just blushy or caught off guard. I don't know.
I know how I feel.
I know how to make your inner sub squee.
That is not something I needed to hear. Time for fan fictions to go bye-bye.
That's like simultaneously like really dirty and really sweet at the same time. Like how do you make something sound so adorable and mean something so not innocent?
The context of Austin was the one that taught me that line, and the context was I was looking for a word to describe Austin, and he started saying things like a disappointment or something like that. And I responded back with, I have the perfect word to describe you with. Yeah, what? Mine. That made his inner sub squee.
I had no idea what would be the after hours thing, but I think that might be it.
I thought it would be when
I told you the
joined
last
this call.
question. Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
I thought it would be when I joined this call. That would be the after hours.
We'll figure it out. There's multiple things.
I had an idea of maybe if nothing interesting happened, that me and Austin just continue the thumbnail war, where we just pick an episode's thumbnail and just roll with it, just because, hey, we could also get the audience involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I told you guys that the last question would open it up for some lovey-dovey stuff.
But stop. We haven't finished the question yet.
Right, we have
What,
Matt.
what do you want to be in the future? Or
Well,
like, what are you...
this... Me or Austin?
Like, I wasn't finished because we just started talking about marriage
Oh.
for some reason.
Sorry for sidetracking.
Okay, back to Ellie. Everybody... Ellie has the floor.
Yeah, aside from marrying Austin someday, I do have plans to go to art college, either for digital art, photography, or illustration, or all three. And then I don't really know what I want to do. I'm just gonna continue doing my job. Next person.
Austin, you go ahead and go.
I have no idea. I've mostly been focusing on YouTube stuff, and I'm just wanting to, at the very least, try and work on my story. Like, try and bring it to life. Maybe just keep on working on more reviews afterwards. Maybe find a job. Maybe marry Ellie.
Maybe.
Matt, you said you wanted to exist, but pick one other thing. Like, you've mentioned you wanted to be an author, like...
A voice actor?
One of those two things, yes. I originally did want to become a voice actor. I took voice training lessons. I've attended online sessions. And in fact, I do want to ask Mark at one of these days if maybe he would like to have my voice on for one of his audio dramas. I don't know, maybe, possibly. But I am mostly focusing on writing and being an author. Mainly because I enjoy creating different worlds with all of these characters that even I fall in love with writing them. Even the ones that I know I'm going to have die. The thing about writing that I love is that whole creation process. And if I'm able to even just make a book on Amazon and post it on Amazon, even if it doesn't sell well, just having that experience of I followed through with this. I was able to give someone somewhere some level of joy, because that's my goal as a person, to make people smile, to make people laugh, and that's all I ever want to do. Which is also why I have the channel. So, yeah, author. Or voice actor.
Okay, so for me, this is what I want to do. I want to do things like hosting podcasts. I want to do YouTube. I want to do more acting stuff kind of around my area, and I want to be a performer, and I've kind of always wanted to do that. I've tried doing like other things, and those other things don't always work out, just because I'm just not doing stuff that fulfills me. But this is the thing. I love talking to you guys, right? I love putting this together. I love that this is a thing, and I want to keep doing it for the foreseeable future. And I want to like do other projects that are similar to this, and other things where I'm performing and acting and just entertaining people. I'm an entertainer. I love doing that. And some point later down the line, I'm probably gonna like teach some people stuff, like teach people how to be entertainers, teach people how to do YouTube, and teach people how to do things like that. But yeah, that is what I want to do with my life.
Aww.
So all in all of us just want to make people happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we make each other happy. You guys certainly make me happy.
That has to be the sweetest thing Austin ever said. This is the first genuine thing that Austin has said in, like, ever.
like,
Yeah.
Like,
Austin, when I first found your channel, I was in a rough time of my life. So your videos, they entertained me. They made me happy. They made me forget about all of that was going on and tell me there was a lot. And let me tell you, there was a lot. And that's also why you and Alias are kind of my inspirations. You made me happy on days where I just want to just throw in towel, give up, just going through all that. So, yes, being able to be here, making all three of you, 4 or 5, all of you people just smile, laugh, happy, have a good day, when I was just nothing more than a common viewer who just wanted to have fun, even to this day. I am just shocked that I've made it this far and I'm able to make people's day.
For those of you who are listening, you can't hear all of us nodding.
Again, we've got OBS.
Because we don't know what to say. All we can do is nod along in agreement because we... I just wanted to say before we go, thank you all for doing this with me. I did not think that anybody was going to actually be interested when I came up with the idea for the podcast. I was thinking, okay, maybe one person is going to be like, maybe. And then suddenly 5 people were like, that sounds great.
Well, one of the main reasons is because a couple days before this was the Reflecta and Gamer 2.0 viewing party. And the aftermath of that was just pure insanity.
Yeah, that was just a whole can of worms, and Chris was just having the time of his life breaking me.
Like, we broke each other, and it was just fun. It was the most fun. It felt like I was actually with you people, laughing and having a nice time. So, when Alias came on board with this idea of, hey, do you want to have a podcast? I was like, yes! Okay, that is all.
Yeah, so... Thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been the 4th installment of the Assembly of Nerds podcast. Tune in next week for more, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
A bit louder. Ellie?
I didn't say anything.
You want to say bye?
No.
Oh.